For the month of March, I'm going to go through all the checklists and chores for everything that you need to do in the deer woods. So we're out here, we're getting trail cameras set up, getting ready for shed season, and I just went to the other property that we hunt this weekend and saw 25 or more deer, and they didn't have any antlers at all, so that was really cool, and hopefully we can find their shed antlers. And waiting for shed season to kind of start here. I had a buck on camera finally over here. Hopefully I can find his sheds, but I'm going back through, putting cameras all over the property, and hopefully we can get some more deer on the other side of the property, because that's where I mainly hunt and that's where I want them at. And so the reason why they're probably not there is because my food plots didn't do well and my bedding's still growing. So hopefully when summer comes they have more cover, and it's really thin cover over there. So hopefully that will get the deer back over here. And that quality food once I start planting the food plots. But hopefully they start coming back over there. That's what I'm really trying to hope. That's what I'm really hoping will happen, and really going to work hard to make sure that those deer come back. And so March checklists, getting ready, getting everything ready in the deer woods, and that's what I'm just starting to do. Once you get into the last week of March, that's when things get kicked into high gear. That's when you start doing a lot of the habitat improvements, and especially into April, May, June, July. And so this is kind of the kickoff month of habitat work. And so I'm leaving this property alone for 3 weeks, so that way we can have the bucks on here, and that way hopefully I'll find some sheds. And so I'm going to get cameras set up, hopefully narrowing down where they're specifically moving at, because in the late season they have really short patterns and they're really clumped together. All the deer kind of get into one big herd. That's what I've learned from this year and some of the past years. And so I'm going to hopefully set up cameras down here and hopefully get some deer on those cameras. And so we've had really a lot of stuff on this camera over here. We've had coyotes, tons of birds, rabbits, raccoons, possums, does, bucks, coyotes. Pretty much whatever can be on there has been on that camera, and I've had pictures pretty consistently through the nights and through the mornings. I know most of the does have been coming to this spot at least every other night, at the least. Sometimes one night, maybe skip the next night, then stay for 2 nights. So they've definitely been in here a lot. And so that's really cool to see the deer start filtering back in, because this is not a winter habitat spot, which I want to make clear before I get into some of the chores. If you don't have a winter habitat spot, the deer aren't going to want to be there in the winter. So they're going to go somewhere else. And that's why I'm working on winter habitat and working on winter food, but it takes time for that stuff to grow. And so now we're going to get into the March checklist. And for number 1 on the checklist is planning everything out. I've already planned stuff out in January and December, just kind of being out in the woods and hunting, seeing what's working and what's not. But I was fortunate enough to have aerial photos, pictures just all around the property. And so I've got some of that to work off of. And if you can get aerial photos of your property, that's really good, and that can really help your hunting habitat and designing it. And so I'm doing that here, and I've taken just satellite imagery from Google or HuntStand is what I usually use for that, and taking screenshots of them, then printing them on paper, and then going and writing by hand where the food plots are at, what I want to get done this year, and planting trees and shrubs and the food plot in general. And so, and then kind of a bonus of that is I'm keeping inventory of everything I have. So in April, I ordered some hybrid poplar trees from Coldstream Farms in Michigan. And so if you ever need trees to find, I know I searched a long time researching where to get trees and getting quality ones for stuff like this, doing habitat. Coldstream Farms is a really good place to look at buying trees, and hopefully we'll be ordering some more trees the next spring or next year. So that's really cool, and that kind of goes into my other point is, but we'll save that for later. But what I was trying to get to is I'm keeping track of everything I have. So I'm getting 30 trees. I have this much food plot seed from last year that I didn't all use. I got new plot seed, so I'm marking down exactly how much seed that I have, and just marking all of that stuff down, so that way I know that I have enough for this season, and I'll probably need some for next season. And so that's number one on the checklist, and number two is ordering that stuff. And so I know a lot of people are buying out red cedar trees and stuff like that, so probably already missed the deadline, but there still should be some out there. I know I checked at Coldstream Farms again, and they had some red cedar trees. So Coldstream Farms is a really good spot to get those trees, and this is a great time to get food plot seed. That's what I get from Deer Creek Seed. And so this is a great time to start ordering that stuff for spring, because you don't want to wait till then and it's all out of stock, because you need to make sure you have it so that way you can plant it. Now the hybrid poplar trees that I bought from Coldstream Farms, I'm having them sent April 1st, so that way as soon as they come, we're going to put them in the ground. And so that way I'm not waiting, I'm not keeping them stored up just in case they don't germinate. And so same with the seed. I'm ordering the seed. The seed usually comes in packages though, so I can just stuff that in a container and wait till the next season. And so that's point number two, ordering all your habitat stuff, food plot seed, hybrid poplar, hybrid willow, and red osier dogwood, stuff like that. You can order that. And then, unless you can do cuttings, which is a good time, that's more to April or something. That'll probably be in the next deer chores or deer checklist. And so number three is shed hunting. And so I'm leaving this spot alone, like I said, for 3 weeks, and then I'm going to be coming in here, and I'm going to be looking all for sheds, scouting out where they're at, especially during these late season months. And so shed hunting, it's really good time doing it in March, and we could probably find some now, but I'm just going to wait and see, make sure the bucks feel comfortable coming back in here. And so that's number three on the checklist. Now number four is, now this is later into March, but I'm going to be doing my water holes. I'm not going to be putting them in the ground, but I'm going to be digging them out. Depending on the weather, I mean right now it's 50 degrees and it should be staying here. I think the lowest it's going is 40s, but in the nights it's going to be in the 20s. So hopefully it starts warming up, and I know this warm front just came in today. So I'm out here getting everything set up so that way I don't have to come back in the woods for another 3 weeks. And so being really particular with that. And so I'm going to be, the last weekend of March, I'm going to be digging out those water holes. And so that's another thing you can do, start digging those water holes. And so for number four, and I think for my last checklist, is my first switchgrass spraying is going to be the last weekend of March. The four-wheeler's not working right now, that's why you probably haven't seen it in some of the videos. So hopefully we can get that fixed before March comes, but if not, I'm prepared, and I got a backpack sprayer, 4-gallon backpack sprayer from Farm and Home, and so we'll be using that unless the four-wheeler's not working, but if the four-wheeler is, then we're going to be using that, and maybe just kind of alternating with both sprayers, because that backpack sprayer can come in handy a lot too. So hopefully we can get the four-wheeler fixed, and that way we can do a lot of this stuff. But if not, I'm going to still be doing it, and I'm still going to be walking out here and doing it. It's just going to take more time, but that's the fun of it, and that's the challenge of it. So can't wait for March, and it's the last week of, or the last day of February. This should be coming out tomorrow, and so hopefully you can get all these checklist chores done. And I'm going to be doing the same thing here, and this is what I'm doing on the property in this certain year. And so, like next year, I'm going to have frost seeding switchgrass for right now, or for 2 months ago. But this year I'm not, because I don't have that plan. So I'm going off of what I'm doing this year, and it might be different for what you need to do. So just kind of check and see. There should be plenty of other tips out there that you can get for the things that you're doing this month. But like I said, can't wait for this month, and I'm going to go set up some more trail cameras, and hopefully next Saturday I'm going to do another video right here, and next Saturday will be trail camera strategies.